Alright, BobalosRex here. In today's video, I'm going to be taking an in-depth look at the cinematic here to deduce things about Undermine itself, the cartels. I'm going to talk about some interview stuff, and basically anything that Blizzard revealed, I'm going to analyze, theorize, speculate, and talk about in today's lore rant. So, if you want if you don't even want to see what they've revealed, tune out and just be surprised. But I am only going to be using what they revealed. When the PTR and stuff comes out, then I'll be looking into that stuff. But right now, I'm just using everything that they've talked about, everything they revealed to theorize. Now, some of my theories may be right, but they're speculation. So, let's get to it. Now, I'm going to pull up the cinematic because I want to talk about this stuff first. Because I think the cinematic reveals a lot. First thing, look at this part in the cinematic. We have the rocket, which I think, here's the thing. What do we know about goblins? They live in Ashara, right? How's a Shara? What is Ashara got? Rocket way. This seems to be a massive rocket way. What did Kazan had? Kazan had streets, freaking houses, like skyscrapers and all this kind of stuff. Okay, we are seeing that mimicked in Undermine, because Undermine is the true goblin capital. Now, where this is interesting. Are we under Kazan? Are we under somewhere else? All I know so far is we are underground. But it looks like they have a rocket way. And now I'm wondering, especially from what this looks like, clearly they've been rebuilding Undermine. Undermine was damaged. So if Undermine is back at Kazan, which I think would be great if it was back at Kazan. Like, from Undermine, you can get to Upper Kazan, which would have one side which is the Motherlode and one side which is where goblins were at, but that's probably asking too much. But either way, the Undermine is somewhere, and it looks like we are taking rockets to it. Okay? Alright? And this one looks like it's popped up in Zandalar. So, that's interesting. But it could just be like the Lost Isle, or just like an island they used for it. You know, like they pulled the Siren Isle from BFA. But that does look Zandalar like. And if we take a look right before here, look. Boom. Just tunnel right into the side. You get in that, boom, you zone in, you're in the Undermine. Think about how cool it would be if for us, the Horde, to get like a Belemeth, but it's the Undermine. I know other people have been talking about that, but think about that. Having this underground zone with all these connections all over the world. For the Horde. Because some of the main people, the Bilgewater, which is run by Gazzo. Gazzo's going to be big. Even the Steamweedle. The Steamweedle's more neutral. The Blackwater's more neutral. Even the Venture Co. is more neutral. But I do want the Horde to get some special here, since the Alliance did get most of Belemeth. But I do have some here later on down the line when we get to the cartels, which we're going to let this play. But you really got to look at... Here it is. Look at this structure. This is the rocket way. Like, look at that logo. This has to be a rocket way. And you got these little doors. I think they go out. And I was trying to find this in one of the interviews. But one of the ones I was listening to, it could have been the Taliesin one. It sounded like they gave me the impression that we drive around in Undermine But then other areas we do content for. So for the cartels, maybe we do stuff in other zones. And in those zones, we could still fly. It could just be referencing Kazalgar, you know, what we do now. But I was really, like, thinking, like, oh, will we do some cartel stuff in Undermine, but then, you know, use other zones as well for some content? It'd be very interesting. So, I definitely think this rocket way is going to have some portals at least. Alright? I mean, look at this. Portals around the town. And I definitely think the reason I was in Ringing Deeps in the first place is because we see for the Siren Isles, the portal is down here. I imagine there's going to be an Undermine portal down here, maybe at Opportunity Point or somewhere where we go to the Undermine from here. Because we also see the goblins attacking the waterworks. Operation Floodgate happens, all right up here at the waterworks. If you didn't realize it from the... Yeah, it happens right up over here at the... Which is interesting, right? Because we're going to talk about more about the Titan stuff later. It's in a later section. But we got to think about the ruptured lake and the water here, the undersea, and what's up with the water from the waterworks here. Okay, so Operation Floodgate? Basically, are they trying to re-rupture this for something? But let's get back to the video here. So let's keep analyzing this video here. So we got the rocket way and where I think it can go. I have some thoughts here. Booty Bay for the Blackwater Raiders. Steamwood Cartel's got a presence there. Zandalar, as we saw. Kazan itself. Gadget Zan. Ringing Deeps. Bilgewater Port. Ashara, you know, all right. That sounds cool. Maybe some other areas. I don't know what y'all think. But let's continue here. Then he's going to talk about some stuff. UndermineD. I'm mainly using this to look at these areas. So you got the rocket way in there. Look at that. That one's got to go somewhere. That one's got to go. So we got three. We got 3 zones where this goes. All right. 1, Kazalgar Ringing Deeps. 1, Zandalar, I guess. Or maybe that's the Lost Isles one. Bilgewater. Interesting. I hope there's more. And we just see 3 there. We got new goblin tech, which is interesting because we're seeing a little bit of new kind of tech going on, and it has me thinking. So look at this. Look at this tech. Okay, clearly these are the bad goblins. All right, because when we look at what Gallywix is using, which we know is the final boss, he has the similar design, and if you look, it's that like dark red, the spooky red color, which is similar to the Black Blood. And we are coming over here. If we're following Xalatath. Xalatath is still playing some games. Maybe she's trying to corrupt the goblins. And she's using a goblin that loves to make deals. Alright, so we're looking at that. Look at that. And then we got the green, which green Kazamite. We know what this green goo is. This is a this is Kazamite sludge. You know, looking like we got more of the city. This city looks so good. But it is fully underground. The ceiling looks like it's just going to be like an underground. kind of deal. I hope it is actually under Kazan. So we got, they're playing bomb golf. If you did the Goblin Starter Zone, you know what's up with that. And look at the background here, looking good. Goblin chilling. Got disco balls. I'm loving the freaking Goblin City aesthetic so much. You got people chilling, people working, explosions. He's talking about the explosions. You know what it is. We got more drill, more city shots. Looking good. I'm trying to analyze this because it's actually hard to get good screenshots. So this is when he starts talking about the cartels. Okay. So this is the Steam Weedle main base. Okay, so we're gonna have cartel hubs. He does mention in an interview it's not going to be like Covenants. We're not getting locked off. It's going to be like the spider packs, okay? Where we choose for a week. Our warband's like, yo, I'm teaming up with the Steam Weedle this week. I'm going to go do stuff for the Steam Weedle this week. Hopefully out in the world too, not just the Undermine. That would be cool. We'd love... People have been saying we want to get back out in Azeroth. When we get to do these secrets, we get to get back in Azeroth. I think that's... would be good if they do that. Alright, so we got the Steam Wheel here. Looking good. You know, they're also anti-Gallywix. Marin runs a lot of the Steam Weedle. Gazlo was a part of the Steam Weedle, but he's not no longer because he kind of is, but he's mainly for the Bilgewater, leading the Bilgewater cartel. And we also know the other reps that are part of this, the Booty Bay rep, which seems to be more under the Blackwater Raiders flag, Baron Rebelgaz. And we also see their presence at Everlook, Winter Spring. So maybe Winter Spring will get some love. Can you imagine going back up to do something in Winter Spring? In modern WoW? Whoa. Alright, so Steam Weedle looking cool. We can see their kind of aesthetic, what they got going on. Then we got the Blackwater Raiders. So this is for sure going to be the Baron Rebelgaz. Baron Rebelgaz, because he's the leader of the Blackwater Raiders in Booty Bay. Pirate Goblins. This is the Pirate Goblins. I would love for maybe a sea route out into Booty Bay. Like, imagine a cave opening up on the side of Booty Bay and ships coming out of the cave and them coming from Undermine somehow. That would be sick. I'm over dreaming that, but yeah. So we got the Pirate Goblins. Got cannons. This looks really good. This looks really good. I'm really liking them. Imagine them getting a Mecha Shark mount. Then we got the Bilgewater. Look at that red. Hold up, though. Let me roll it back here. Okay, green. They got some blue going on here. Maybe we'll see some influence from the Alliance on them. Boom. Red. We know who they team up with. I don't see any spikes, but this is the Horde Goblins right here. And these are the Horde Goblins. They built it up. This is where Gazlo's in charge. And I do think it's cool, and these goblins can all be neutral, but we know where these affiliations are. Horde. Gazlo will work with any adventurer, because remember, we are adventurers. We aren't just Alliance and Horde. We are part of it, but we are adventurers. Gazlo would be like, yo, hey, adventurer, you want to help me out? So, if there's Alliance that want to team up with the Bilgewater, go right ahead. They'll work with you. Because goblins will work neutrally, but goblins are a part of the Horde. But maybe, like I said, we do see some goblins talked about. But let's continue. Bilgewater looking good. Then we got Venture Company. One of these four is not like the other. So you have the three cartels now, which For the Blackwater Raiders, if they went full cartel, they were calling them a cartel. Then good for them. Baron Rebel guys moving up. Because they look to be set up pretty. Venture Company, they're looking like shit. They looking bust. They got some tech back there. Look at that thing. They bust. But you know what? I think some new management is going to be in charge. And the Venture Company, with our help, could pop off. More on them later. When we get to see who we're talking about here. But yeah, Venture Company is clearly a fixer-upper. Because Homeboy did. Motherlode Man dead. Alright. Razdunk. Then we got a bunch of goblins teaming up. Now let's see who we got here. So we got Marin Noggenfogger, Bilgewater rep. Mont Gazlow, Horde / Steamweedle rep. Rezik, the Shiv, who's aligned with the Alliance and SI, but may also be aligned with the Blackwater Raiders possibly. We'll have to see what they do with him. And this lady over here. Alright. Now, I'm going to reveal who she is in a moment. But let's continue with this. So we got Mont Gazlow. He talks about that. We got goblins. We got stuff in the background. I wonder what that is. Then we got Rezik the Shiv. Let's see where he's hanging out. Now, he may be near the pirate area, but he's got the blue. He's repping the Alliance, but he's got this kind of like piratey stuff, so we'll have to see what he's doing. Baron Revel Gaz. Maybe they're on the same... Look at where they're at. Hold up. Let's roll it back. Look at the platform. Pirate. Eastern Kingdom sided. Blue pirate goblins. I think they're a little bit pro-Alliance. That could come out. You know, maybe they're the ones working with the Alliance. That does seem to be what they're looking like. And partially with how much these are like kind of repping Alliance side goblins. We got Horde dwarves. Kind of. Could we see Alliance goblins? Personally, I'm like, ugh. But I'm like, there's nothing against it. And I don't want to stand in the way of progress. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt me. It does not hurt me. Goblins can be neutral. We've seen neutral goblins since World of Warcraft Classic. Warcraft 2. Well, actually, Warcraft 3. Goblins work neutrally. It could happen. It could happen. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be a little like, ugh. I wouldn't play it. But Blackwater Raiders may be going Alliance. At least be signed with them a little bit. Then we got the Bilgewater, True Neutrality. Look at his getup. He looking cool. Marin Noggenfogger, the Alchemist. We got to protect him. People are going to be after him. Alright, and then he mentions the main cartel people. Then he cuts to this goblin right here. And you may be like, who's this goblin? Why didn't he talk about this goblin girl right here? This goblin lady. Or who I like to call this goblin girl boss. Because if you don't know who she is, I did the research. Okay, I did the research. Boom. 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 We saw that she actually had pigtails when we saw the back shot of her in the one image I froze. Boom. There she is. You want to know who that is? Grimla Fizzlecrank. What's her deal? You want to know what her deal is? So we met her in Dragonflight. Did you know that? Did you know that? She was in Dragonflight. She represents the venture company. Alright? And when she went to the Dragon Isles, and she saw the Dragon Isles and was like, I'm telling my hires up, there ain't nothing here. I ain't telling the higher ups about this venture company, ain't going to the Dragon Isles. Can you believe that? Why did Blizzard go out the way to make sure the venture company rolled up with her, saying, we're not going to touch the Dragon Isles? Second, Khazalgar's venture company is all over. Goblins are all over Khazalgar. But she kept them off of the Dragon Isles. So she's a bigwig. She's got some sway. And she's pro-environment. Is she going to be the new leader of the venture company? Are we going to side with her for the venture company? We also talked to Jenny Boombuckle and Ash Kahet. Gazla was talking with her. Maybe those two know each other. You know? We'll have to see. All I know is they show her for a reason. And it's when they would have been talking about who we team up with the venture company. So, I think Grimla Fizzlecrank is this... Well, for sure is her. And she's going to play a big deal with the venture company. That we team up with. Alright. So there's that. That was big. So then he talks about the cars. We talk about driving in the streets. And this is just good stuff. Just look at these shops. Look at these areas. There's the big rocket way again. So it may be sectioned. So that area we were looking at may be back there. And there may be little sections for the cartels. Then we got this big shot, which I think gives us a good shot of the city. And as you can see, the roof is kind of like artificial. They kind of built that up. That may be like fake clouds. That's funny looking. And then this right here, this big building right here is the Galagio. Got the Gallywig statue right here. And with how much he owns of the city now, as not being a part of a cartel proper, or trade prince proper, really makes me wonder. Has he moved up? Has he moved up? Has he tried to figure out a way and succeeded in making himself the trade king of Undermine? With Xal'atath's help, maybe? We see the Dark Fuse Company. Maybe that's him. Using the new tech. Using the Black Blood. Becoming the new trade king. And that's what Gazlo's like, yo, we need to deal with this. Goblin politics is quintessential to what is going to happen with Azeroth. And we need to go to Undermine and we need to deal with Gallywigs. Alright? And then we get the cartels together and we liberate Undermine over the oppressive rule of Trade King Gallywigs. Alright? And I swear, I want to toss him out here. I want to see a cutscene of him flying out the window. And then get hit with the car. I've been saying that for so long. For so long. So long. Just drops. He doesn't get away. He doesn't get away. I don't want him to get away. But yeah. So that was perfect time to talk about that. Oh man, I want that so bad. We'll talk more about him when we see a good shot of him. Look, we got the Goblin Trikes. Maybe we can get some neutral goblin trikes. Maybe some more colors of the trikes that the goblins. They need more mounts. Good for them. Look at that cool shot. As you can see, the top here is open. It's because they don't have the top of this zone is going to be effects. It's not going to... I don't think it's going to be a real roof, but we'll see. They've been doing the fake holes, you know, invisible walls. You know, that's probably what they'll do. Probably will look cool, though. But it's definitely going to be a full underground zone. He's talking. Okay, here we go. We driving. And he talks about the new dungeon. So, as you can see, we are clearly in the Delve, the waterworks. We got... This has to be the Dark Fuse. Because that's who we saw in the Ringing Depths before. They're using all this... Using explosives. He's got cool Tyrans working for him. He's got Orcs you saw. He's got the full crew. And look, they're in the Blackrock armor. So, definitely seems like this is the Dark Fuse. Probably working under Gallywix, but not formally under him. It looks like they're trying to control the water, possibly. Or unleash it. I feel like it'd be easier for them to unleash it, so it does seem like they're hijacking it. That looks so cool. Look at this tech, dude. Just big, giant car... Whatever those are called. What are those called? Oh my god, I can't even think of them. But either way, that looks cool. So, he's bringing back Motherlode. We talk about Motherlode, which really makes me wonder, can we get that? We've seen the outside of Motherlode used for the Goblin Heritage. So then we get a look at some of these delves, which these delves area look really cool as well. Alright, he's telling us more. New Zekfir boss. Probably going to be a goblin. Maybe a goblin souped up by Xalatath. And then he starts to talk about this raid. Which this raid is super sweet looking. So, as you can see... We're probably going to be rolling up on the outside. It looks like trash bags there. Definitely looking like it's the Dark Fuse. I mean, look at the get-ups. Then we got dude doing a wheelie. More of this interior. That is the... So that's the Galagio. Then you have the big building in the center is the headquarters, maybe. The Galagio is purple. So we got this big mech arena. Look at that Mecha T-Rex. Future Goblin Druid forms. Alright. We can get Earthen Druids and Goblin Druids all in one patch. Let's go. Mecha T-Rex. You get the big shot of him. Look at that guy. That's so cool. We got the green ooze. We got Mecha Kong. Got Mecha Godzilla. And then we got King Kong with the getup. Okay. So the big green building that I was talking about is the big headquarters. So that is the biggest... That is going to be the central building. Okay, so I was incorrect about what building's what. So this is the Galagio proper. In the raid is called the Liberation of Undermine. So looks like we got trash here, maybe. We'll have to see how the raid progresses. But so this is the Galagio. So this is the casino. And then I wonder if that green building, the big green building, is the main headquarters. And we got the interior. Look at that. I still want to toss them out that skyscraper, though. We got more of the interior. You got tech all over. And then look. Look at how it's red. He doesn't look to be changed. But I do wonder if he starts using some tech that changes him. Imagine Gallywix going all tentacle, old god, blood mode. And then you look at these chambers with the ooze, it's all red. It does look like he's using the old god blood. He's like, the next big thing is old god blood. Azurite's old. It's old god blood time. They talk about the new arena. They show her. They hint at where we go next, maybe, with the Arathi thing. But okay, so I showed off everything in that I wanted to talk about. Alright, so now we can talk about more of the side stuff that I learned here. And this first part comes from the Taliesin energy. Alright, so one of the biggest goals with goblins and Undermine, and even the War Within in general, was to move beyond the whimsy and explosion, what makes them relatable. Awesome. I'm excited about that. More frequent appearances of Goblin in patch 11.0 were intended to create familiarity, otherwise it could have felt that Undermine came out of nowhere. I think it was great for the setup. I think Goblins did get a lot of setup, but also I think the Goblin hints were planted when we got the Goblin Heritage Armor. But it is good to get more people hanging out with the goblins. If you're Horde, you hung out with them in Mechagon and all that. So I'm definitely happy that we did get some good goblin stuff there. They talk about the voiceovers, so I'm excited to hear the voices. The cartels in Undermine will be akin to packs from Eshkahet. It's not like Covenants from Shadowlands. There's no player power associated with the cartels. I think there's going to be player power associated with the rep as far as a runed crest, as far as a big crafting crest, unless they're moving away from that. Every week you'll be able to pick up a cartel to complete activities for, plus other scattered activities around the zone that will always give rep with a specific cartel. So we're going to get reps, you know, all that kind of stuff. There'll be no flying in Undermine. Drive is supposed to be 3 times faster than your ground mount, so we are going to be driving around the roads. Undermine is a dense urban space unsuitable for skydiving, skywriting. Again, that supports the it's an interior zone. We're going to be driving around, and then we take the rocket way to go out. But it's just like a really cool underground goblin city. I think it's going to be fine, no flying. Especially since traveling... I don't think they're going to be having us traveling vertically. You know, it's mostly going to be us driving around. Going to go from this little hub to that little hub. You're going to be going super fast. Flying, especially if there's a lot of weird vertical... They can do like a lot of weird vertical stuff, like the weird change in Khazad-dûr. And people not complain about all the junk in the sky. So we'll have to see. I'm not too upset, especially since we're getting this car. And if they design the zone to be traversed adequately, I think it's going to be fine. Alright, you can still use regular... Your rep with the cartels from Vanilla won't influence. That's good. They talk about the delves. They talk about the raid. Nothing more about the lore there. But yeah, we did get some interesting stuff there about that. Then I have some pictures showing off the creepy parts that were shown. And we got MMO Champs, got a bunch of pictures. We got this cool shot of Gallywix in his full mecha suit. And look! It does have a lot of this red. Yeah, he's juicing on the black blood. Xal'atath's got him juiced up. For sure. Oh, yeah. And then I talked about her. And well, I got a couple of shots. So here we got this. That was the thing that did the wheelie. Okay. Wait, so now that's blue. Okay, so that's the Galagio. Then what's the green building? What is this green building I'm seeing? What's the green building? Okay, it's this one. Okay, so there's that big green building. Maybe that's the big bank. Okay, so you got that big building, and then you got the Galaja, which is over on this side, which is going to be where he's at, and he's also got that big statue outside. And look at how it's gold painted. It's not actually gold. It's gold painted. That's so funny. Alright. Oh, look at that hobgoblin. Okay, well, let's get into the lore rant proper then. You know, so we're going to be hanging out with the goblins. Xalatath clearly got some stuff going on. I'm just going to go hang out with the goblins. The liberation of Undermine I talked about. All the cartels are going to align, most likely, to stop Gallywix. I called it Trade Wars 2. Talked about the Dark Fuse Company and Xalatath's Trail. So Xalatath's Trail is going to lead us straight to Gallywix. And we're going to team up with the Goblin Cartels to stop him. Sounds about right. So, what other conspiracies do I got? Well, let's think about this. We got that Titan facility down there, which is very interesting, right? We know we got this new, the old god blood infusing the goblins. That's going to be used for the new stuff. But what was up with those Titan ruins? You know what? Let's bring that picture back up. Let's bring that picture back up. So what is with these Titan ruins? Alright, we've seen this stuff in Ashkahet, so it does seem to place... Okay. If this black blood stuff is new, alright, because I thought the impression was the blood had been there for a while and it had been inert, but now it's acting like it's new, it's fresh. Spilling out. So if it was Cthulhu getting stabbed, splurting that blood everywhere, or this is just spots where the blood during BFA, I don't know. I'm still trying to sort that out. But either way, the blood has started soaking into these areas, and wherever it seems to go, it causes this weird effect. Okay? And this does seem to be a part of Undermine. This isn't any area we're currently able to get to. So this is a new area. So this would probably be... So from the way the city looks, is like we have this big city, which has its sections. And there may be this like underground area section that leads into this area, because this isn't highly populated. Goblins aren't running around this area, especially if it had been this creepy a lot. But we do see a facility here. Okay, and as we can see, we see the infusers here. Clearly, Gallywix got some people down here doing some stuff. Now, is this recently unearthed? Because we do know there's been some new mines being started. Gallywix has been known to keep digging deep. So, here we go. He tunneled into this little section. Hollow Azeroth. You know, you just keep digging, you'll find a hollow area with some goodies in it. You know? Just like freaking Minecraft. So they dug down. We got this little goopy area. Alright? And the goop alone is interesting, but the Titan stuff. Now, we know we are learning new things about the Titans, and they ain't always having the best intentions. Or maybe they got the best intentions, but they don't got the best methods. Far from. So, we know Memoron was involved in creating the goblins. Okay? Alright? Here, I'm going to bring up the Proto-Goblin. Here we go. Goblin Wiki. The Proto-Goblin. Alright? This was the original critter. Alright? Look at it. And then the Titans experimenting with Kazamite changed this critter. Gave it intellect. It turned it green. Now, what is Kazamite made out of? So, we're seeing a lot of crystal stuff. People theorize Kazamite is old Gotti. Maybe. But now we see these big Azeroth crystals, so I'm like, I don't know, no. I don't know. Then it makes me wonder. Could this be life-related? Is green, life, green, fell? Maybe? I don't know. Goblins are pretty chaotic. It could be a little bit of fell infusion. Who knows? But it's green. And I think green makes it interesting. Because Yogg-Saron has some Ite linked to him. Saronite, the blood of the old god. And we see what that does. It's very interesting. But his blood even has some interesting properties too. Like, it's got some, like, deathy properties, not just old goddy properties. But we see Xal'atath using the black blood to mind control stuff. So, you know Gallywix would love to put the black blood into the stuff that goblins are already consuming. Dude, he advertised it like the Mountain Dew! Yo! So, goblins drink Cajacola. Gallywix up here, like, introducing a new flavor of Cajacola. Xalato's flavor. The fresh taste of Xal'atath's toes. Straight into your Kazamite. Your Cajacola. And he's making the goblins drink it! Oh my god. That's why they did the Dew promotion. They were hinting at Goblin. They're telling us to go Goblin mode. Straight up. So. Okay, so we know what she's doing now. Let's go back to the past. What was Memoron doing with the goblins experimenting? Then it started making me think. What did Memoron really do to make the goblins? Because now we need to start questioning this. Did he intentionally be like, this Kazamite's gonna be great? Or was he like, man, fuck it. I'm experimenting on these little critters because I don't give a fuck. And he's just giving them all kinds of poisons. Because this theoretically could have killed these critters. But, or did he notice it naturally? Did he notice these crystals? And Memoron, maybe being one of the better Titans, was like, interesting. Instead of just control, he's like, I want to just study these critters that found these crystals. Okay? Let's take it the nice approach. So these crystals were found by these goblin precursors. Memoron is studying them. The crystals change these critters. Make them think. Maybe give them... especially if they were Titan-made critters, it would make you wonder, did they give them free will? Because we are seeing crystals give free will. And I also have here, did the Titans enslave the Proto-Goblins? Because we do see the Titans doing that. You know, and we see That would be an interesting thing, right? So imagine the proto-goblins were Titan constructs that, or the Grell, maybe the proto like imp creatures, but they were under control by the Titans doing stuff, and then the ones working in this Titan facility stumbled upon Kazumite, got free will, rebelled, and then when Mimiron didn't have any minions of his own, that's when he made the Mechanomes. That's an interesting way to look at it. I've been running this theory through a lot of different variants, because you can, like, put it in a couple of different orders. But we do know Kazumite plus this critter equals Goblin. And the Titans were involved. So here's one of my theories. So you got Proto-Goblin. Mimiron interferes and puts Kazumite. We get Goblins. No Kazumite. Okay, this is what we know. Okay, this is what we know. We had Proto-Goblins. Mimiron interferes with Kazumite. Then we got Goblins. No Kazumite. We have less smart Goblins, apparently, according to the lore. In Kazan, the Trolls come over, enslave the Goblins. Kazumite is reintroduced to the Goblins in the mines. Goblins uprise. More Kazumite, more freedom, more thinking. Rise up. Then we get the trade wars, and then we get Gallywix, or all the cartels, and then all that, whatever. So that's the timeline we got so far. So yeah, what did Mimiron and the Titans do? We got Goblin precursors experimented on by Mimiron, which is kind of shady as hell. We got possibly these were the critters they had. Maybe they had Mechanomes. Maybe goblins share straight up with the gnomes. Maybe Mimiron had his gnomes investigating this area. The Mechanomes that got infused with Kazumite turned into goblins. Got their free will, and then Mimiron had to be like, yo, I gotta bail. I can't control these goblins. And then he peaced out. Alright, and then the goblins ran out of Kazumite because they couldn't dig as deep. And that's what made them lose some of the juice that they needed. Okay? You also have one of my theories was maybe there were these critters. Mimiron gave them the Kazumite. They got smart, and he was like, yo, look at these smart little critters doing all this work for me. Then they started getting free will and being more problematic. So he's like, hey, I'm going to design my new mecha units like these critters. And Mechanomes were designed after proto-goblins. So who came first, the gnome or the goblin? In that case. Very interesting. Very interesting to think about. What kind of experimentation going on. And I definitely think the crystals given free will, Kazumite giving the goblins the power to rebel may be cool. But as you can see, there are a couple variations, and I do wonder what they're going to go with. And if you got this far, which one do you think they're going to go with? Do you think we've heard it correct? The Titans told us correctly the first time around. Mimiron experimented, created the goblins. And here, you know what? Here, we'll read what they got here. In ancient times, the keeper Mimiron had discovered Kazumite. So remember, this is from the Chronicles. In attempting to determine its properties, he experimented on various races. So this says he's going around experimenting. He found that the ore was extremely potent. And again, I wonder, like, what's up with this ore? Where is this ore coming from? It's green. Extremely potent, and it increased the intellect of his subjects. One of these subjects was a small primitive life race that roamed around the forest near Ulduar. By consuming the Kashmite, they were transformed into a new, highly intelligent race known as the Goblins. So again, if we go by the Titans thing, I'm starting to think Mimiron designed his mechanomes after these goblins. Alright? And then we can talk about the ethics of Mimiron experimenting on primitive life. You know, that's against the Prime Directive, you know, but he did it. And I wonder, this could have just, like, poisoned stuff. I wonder if, like, many races he experimented on it, like, got really fucked up. But, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Though, like I said, I do wonder. And then look here. In the War of the Ancients, Deathwing tapped into the goblins. He's like, I know about them. The Titans did experiments on these critters. So, it's very interesting. So, we could just stick to the normal. Or maybe there's some more going on with the Kashmite. Or maybe, like with this recent telling, or the recent data archive, maybe the story has, like, swapped. Kashmite freed the goblins from the Titans' control. Because we do know the Titans like to roll up and experiment on a race and use it to work for them. So yeah, I learned a lot about goblins. I'm excited we're going to learn more. And I want to know what the Titans did to the goblins. Because they're hiding things. Thank y'all for watching as always, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye-bye.